No, that's another thing. That's a very good observation, and that's another observation that law enforcement officers will be looking at here. Again, we're showing you Hawthorne Boulevard, continuing south or northbound on Hawthorne Boulevard, and putting up the map overlay here so you can kind of get a perspective of those lanes. No skid marks, and that's something that investigators do look for. And if there are skid marks, they're able to measure those and try to get at least an estimate of how fast the vehicle was going. And without that right now, they'll just have to use the other types of resources that they have in order to investigate the accident. But again, there's a lot of debris on the roadway here, evidence of maybe some gas or oil, showing that the vehicle started sustaining damage, went up the hill right over here, and narrowly missed this tree, but may have hit another tree, some bushes in the nature there. But as we move the helicopter around, you'll see where the vehicle came to rest. But a very serious crash that happened about 7:30 this morning here in the Palos Verdes area. Do you want to try to? Okay. Do you want to get that logo there? Do you think? Do you want to get that? What do you think? Okay. Okay, whatever you think. My mic's going back on. Yeah, it says Genesis. Get it, jet wash. Okay, staying on past noon. Come on. When you can safely do it, could we get the other angle when we're on the other side of the street? If you can. Yeah, I guess shooting west, we were able to see the top of the car and see more of the damage. Yeah, we're looking at that. We're looking at that right now, Carolyn. We're repositioning the helicopter to give you another perspective here. Our pilot Derek Bell is getting us these shots here. This is again right off of Hawthorne Boulevard, but you can see the damage. That's the front of the vehicle. It's almost hard to tell where's the front and where's the back of the vehicle. That's the front of the vehicle. Apparently, that sustained most of the damage there, taking the brunt of the impact. Obviously, the vehicle hit a sign. We do see evidence of that along Hawthorne Boulevard, but as it made its way up the hill, it may have taken down a couple of small trees. Fortunately, it didn't strike a big tree like that. I think it would be a different story if it hit a bigger tree of something of that nature. But right now, you can see the damage there. A vehicle laying on its side, and it's laying on the driver's side. So the vehicle took a spin, rolled over, and that means that the firefighters had to extract the driver, later identified as Tiger Woods, from the windshield of that vehicle. They had to pull him out via that way and probably cut away part of the roof there. Or no, you could just see there through the windshield. That's how they were able to get him out of the car, considering the driver's side is laying face down, and that is the passenger side face up right there, here with this vehicle on the side of the hill. This is perfect, thank you. Telemundo and NOC. I had the 450 turned down by mistake. Telemundo, I understand you may still be using our images. Just let me know. Rosa, I wasn't able to respond to you earlier, but I did copy your transmission about Telemundo using us. Hey, Derek, how long's their fuel situation so I can pass it along to them? Just be advised, 30 minutes, 30 minutes of fuel on scene, and then we can go and get fuel at a nearby airport. And Booth, we're good for 30 minutes on scene, 30 minutes on scene for fuel. Of so you're gonna have to repeat. I have to switch volumes and everything. Repeat your traffic, please. Telemundo, let me know when we're hot. Let me know when we're hot. We're still simulcasting, so let me know what I can do for you guys. I've got the 450 turned up. Okay, copy that. 4 minutes. 4 minutes, Telemundo. Thank you. Yo. Háblame. Derek, you still think we're about 25 minutes on scene? We're still good, Booth. We got about 25 minutes for you guys. How long are we going to stay live? Let's see, what time is it? Okay. Yeah, we'll be good till 12:30 for you. Copy that, Telemundo. Copy that. Okay, Telemundo, thank you. Channel 4's got me on a split screen, so because of that, I got to keep the shot tight. So I'm just going to stay on this tight shot, Telemundo, until they take off the split screen. You know, Carolyn, this could have been a lot worse here. We're talking about the severity of this accident. Speed definitely a factor. We don't know what caused the collision. We're not making any assumptions, but just from the evidence below, seeing where right over here is where the initial impact of that sign occurred. This is just south of Black Horse Road off of Hawthorne Boulevard. And this point here, again, is this is Hawthorne Boulevard. Going northbound brings you downhill at this particular spot. This appears to be the area where the vehicles seem to travel on the opposite side of the road, and again, it could have been a lot worse. It was during the morning commute. Fortunately, there was no head-on collision. That would have definitely been a more catastrophic situation here, but right now it seems to be a solo vehicle collision. The cause is under investigation. You can see LA County Sheriff deputies right now. They're doing the measurements, but the vehicle traveling on the wrong side of the road hit a couple of trees, smaller trees, but the severity of the damage to the front of that vehicle just shows you how severe this accident was. Literally, the front of that vehicle just smashed in, and that definitely can confirm the reports, the initial reports we're getting about the type of injuries sustained by Tiger Woods during this accident. When firefighters and paramedics rolled up on the scene, they had to use the jaws of life in order to get him out of the vehicle. Look at that car laying on the left side, which means the driver is laying pretty much on the dirt. On the top, that is the passenger side, so they had to use the jaws of life, rip open that windshield, pull the driver out, and take him to a nearby hospital. Again, the driver is Tiger Woods. And look at right over here. You can see there's a shrub and part of a tree branch and the tree stump, I should say. So that vehicle going up the hill took out a couple of bushes and no doubt a couple of trees. And again, this could have been worse. It could have been a head-on collision. It's a solo vehicle accident, but the cause is under investigation right now. Yeah, we're moving around right now. And Carolyn, you made a great observation earlier. What we are not seeing are skid marks. There are no skid marks. What we, this is debris from the impact from the vehicle. There's a part of that sign that I would guesstimate is probably about 50 yards from the initial point where that sign was. Deputies here, you just kind of follow the debris field. So right about in this area, as we're moving the helicopter around, we believe that's where it went up the road or up the hill. and somewhere along this trajectory, right along this path. I mean, Carolyn, look how close it came to that tree right there. That's a pretty sturdy tree. Had it hit that, we could have been reporting a different situation here. But right there in between, you can see the path. Yeah, yeah, and also the power pole, you are correct. So it entered this area just past the power line, or that power pole, missed the power pole, came up there and to the, right there to the left of that tree, continued, flipped over, and then landed on the other side over here. So it could have been worse, but still, we're not minimizing the severity of this accident. A very serious crash happening a little before 7:30 this morning. And again, I want to show you, this is Hawthorne Boulevard. Check it out. Hawthorne Boulevard to the right is northbound, which means it's going downhill. So as you go downhill, obviously you tend to go a little faster here. We're not trying to assume what type of driving was happening, but by the debris field and the damage to the vehicle, there's no doubt this vehicle was traveling at a high rate of speed, and the investigation is underway exactly as to what happened and what caused this vehicle to lose control. I'm getting a lot of jet wash here. I'm getting a lot of jet wash here. I gotta trim that down. Sure. Thank you. No worries, I'll pull up. You know, Carolyn, they have accident reconstructionists on scene. I'm pretty sure of that, as well as investigators, and they're doing all the measurements, and they're trying to get all the information as to what led up to this collision here involving this this particular vehicle here belonging, driven rather, by Tiger Woods. They're probably going to leave the vehicle as it is right now. I don't know as far as the evidence that could be considered evidence, and they don't want to really tamper with that until they can do some type of maybe inventory search of this vehicle. That could be part of the investigation policy and procedure. I'm not too sure exactly with the LA County Sheriffs, but most likely, again, they do have accident reconstructionists, and we do see that. They're going to reconstruct this accident. They're going to get all the information. They're going to call for witnesses, and we never know. With so many people who have dash cam videos, they're going to try to see if there's any video evidence of this collision. Does this vehicle itself have a dash cam video? So all that is being taken into consideration right now. They are doing the measurements here. They're trying to get all the particular information they need in order to reconstruct this accident and find out exactly as to what happened. We do know speed definitely was a factor. We're not saying speed is the reason of the collision, but we're saying that this vehicle, by the evidence of what we see, has been was traveling rather at a high rate of speed on northbound Hawthorne Boulevard, which right here at this particular point of Hawthorne Boulevard puts it at a downhill slope. So could that have contributed to the speed? All that will be determined as the investigation is just beginning. Yeah, right over here, Carolyn. This is Hawthorne Boulevard, and you can see Black Horse Ranch Road, or Black Horse Road Ranch. That is that particular location. Now, we start picking up some speed here because we start going downhill, and you were talking about where the road curves. Well, coincidentally, we don't know if that is a factor to the accident, but right where it starts to make that turn, that's where the vehicle crossed the road just by the evidence that we saw. Let me try to find it. It's right here. That's where we believe this is the initial point where the vehicle crossed the lanes, went onto the traveling northbound, went into the southbound lanes. And it could have been something so simple. You take your eye off the road for 1 second, and then all of a sudden now you're on the wrong side of the road, and taking out some of the shrubbery here, took out a sign, and it's about 50 yards where the part of that sign right behind that tree came to rest. You can see another part of that sign over there. But how lucky the driver was, Tiger Woods, considering really just spliced right between a power line and a big tree, went up some shrubbery and landed right here, the vehicle on the left side, landing on the driver's side. And just another point to show you is you can see all the airbags that were deployed, and a vehicle of this caliber no doubt was surrounded by those driver's side airbags and all around this vehicle. But if you can look at the front of the vehicle, that's the front on the left side. It's almost hard to tell. The rear of the vehicle is on the right side, and it looks at the front of the vehicle took a brunt most of that damage and that impact, which could explain the type of injuries that Tiger Woods sustained that we are now learning of. Talk to me. We can be here till 12:30 for you guys. Derek, what'd you say? Oh, is it 12:30 now? Pilot's telling me another 15 minutes, 15 minutes. Yeah. Boy, man, that was a fast 15 minutes. Hey, Booth, can you relay to desk, Rosa? We're leaving at 12:45, Rosa, 12:45. Thank you. Yeah, let them know, because she... Hi. Okay, you want me to not show them? Is that it? Okay, roger that. I'll look here in a second. I'll just kind of... Okay, roger that, roger. I think I see some people, Stephanie. You don't want me to zoom in. I'm not going to zoom in unless if you ask me to. Okay. Okay, you got it. My pleasure, thank you. That tree is starting to come into our shot. Thank you. Guys, we have about 7 more minutes, FYI. Yeah. You got it. You got it. My pleasure. Whoops, trying to get it there. Yeah. There we go. Hey, just getting the camera situated here. I'm going to show you, this is Silver Spur Road and Hawthorne Boulevard. So if you're traveling northbound, you're really coming away from the Pacific Palisades over there. You can see that. And essentially, I kind of want to try to give you a perspective here from News Chopper 4 Alpha. This is Hawthorne Boulevard. And just as you pass Silver Spur Road, you start going downhill. And as local residents are saying, if you drive this area and you're not familiar with it, it can be a little tricky, especially with some of these turns here. So as we come up right in this area, this is Black Horse Road, starts getting a little steeper, and then you have to start making a couple of S turns here. And Carolyn, we are kind of guesstimating based on the evidence of what we see, is as we come up on one of these S turns here, this is where the vehicle right here began to cross over Hawthorne Boulevard, again traveling northbound, which is bringing it on going downhill, and crossed over into the southbound lanes. Those vehicles will be going uphill, and in the evidence here you can see the debris scattered across the southbound lanes of Hawthorne Boulevard. There's that sign. That's about 50 yards from the initial impact, which really kind of gives you an indication of just how fast this vehicle was going. You can see fluid from the vehicle still on the ground. That is the southbound lanes of Hawthorne Boulevard. And Carolyn, you brought out a really good point earlier, no skid marks. So it just shows this vehicle was traveling at a high rate of speed, narrowly missing a power line, really kind of just jig-jagged in between that tree and then landed right over here. Yeah, you guys should have me now right back over here. Yeah, and so this is where the vehicle landed, and again, just speed definitely a factor. Again, we're not saying that contributed to the accident. The cause is being investigated. We have accident reconstructionists on scene right now, getting all the information. And of course, this crash involving such a high-profile person, we are starting to see looky-loos in this area. So people are starting to come here, and you know, earlier we saw a couple of people on top of this hill. We're not sure if they're residents or so, but deputies are still on scene. This is, they need to secure the scene. All this is evidence here. They're still going to have to do an inventory of that vehicle. Not sure if that has been done, but that will be part of the investigation, inventorying that vehicle and seeing what was inside. Rosa, go ahead.